Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new video. My name is Musa Jallo, and in today's video I'll be discussing money mistakes to avoid in your 20s. So the first thing on my list is the student loan, because if you're gonna choose a career while in your 20s to study, if you don't have no other choice, first I want to say it's possible for you to make good money without going to school, right? But if you have to go to school, you don't have any other choice, you should choose a career that is in demand. You should choose a career that pay well. And also you should choose a career that doesn't require a master's degree. One of the mistakes that most people make in their 20s is waiting to invest. That is to say, you should never try to time the market, because nobody should knows when the market is gonna hit the rock bottom, when the market is gonna hit the lowest point. Nobody knows that, So don't wait to invest your money. If there's anybody who told you they have that information, that person should be doing well in investing than Warren Buffett, The best thing you can do for yourself when it comes to investing in your early 20s is try to dollar cost average into the market. That is to say, you should buy every day, little by little, on a consistent basis. Don't put all your money in the market right away, but you should buy little by little over a long period of time. And also by you starting to invest in your early 20s, if you can even start sooner than that, power to you should go for it. But you starting to invest in your early 20s, you're gonna realize the power of the compound interest, right? That is just if you invest 5,000, whatever interest that money earn you, it's gonna earn you more interest, and it's gonna earn your interest is gonna earn you more interest. So another mistake that most young people make in their 20s is buying a very expensive car or renting a very expensive apartment. Most young people in their 20s, we don't have a lot of responsibilities, and also most people doesn't expect you to live a certain lifestyle. If you at this age right now, there is no point of you trying to live in the most expensive apartment, and also there is no point of you trying to have the most expensive car. Renting a very expensive apartment in your 20s will stop you from investing that extra money in the market. That the same thing goes for you owning a very expensive car in your 20s. That money you're using for the car payment, that money you're paying for insurance, that those money can go towards your investment portfolio, for example. Another thing that you should be aware of when it comes to saving money in your rent, you don't have to live in the middle of the city, right? Now the average rent in Oslo city, it would be about 20,000 krona if you want to rent a 2-bedroom apartment. But if you live 20-30 minutes outside the city, you might pay 10,000 krona for a really nice apartment, and you might even get a much bigger space, So for most young people, it's you should consider living 20-30 minutes outside the city. And then you save that extra money you're paying rent if you don't have your own property, for example. Save the extra money you're paying in the rent. But with all this still, if you still decide to live in the center of a city, you should really consider if you need a car, because having a car is really expensive, right? But if you live in the middle of the city or not far from the city center, then maybe you don't really need a car, In that situation, you can probably maybe sell your car if you have a car, you don't use a car, and try to take public transport. And it's gonna save you money, and it's also better for the environment. If you don't take anything that I say in this video seriously, you should take this one really, really seriously. You should keep track of your finances. It's really so important you keep track of your finances. Make sure every penny that you make is accounted for. That is to say, if you make $5,000 per month, before even you get a salary, you should give all this money a tax. You should say maybe out of this 5,000, 3,000 is gonna go to investment, 3,000 for my living expenses, and then make sure you go down to the penny. Make sure every money that you make is accounted for. Make sure every dollar that you earn is given a tax. And when you start keeping track of your finances, you might see things and other things that many people spend so much money on. It's buying coffee. You don't have to go outside to Starbucks every day to buy coffee from there, for example. You don't have to go to the latest trendy coffee shop every day to buy coffee from there. You can buy coffee machine and then you keep it at home and make your own coffee. In the long run, you're gonna save so much money if you drink so much coffee. Many countries, they have a lot of financial apps that you can use to track your finances. In Norway, for example, I know they have most banks, they have the financial app that you can use to track your income, And I know in the US also they have app men.com, that you can use to track your expenses and stuff like that. But if you don't have access to that, you can use Microsoft Excel. And how you can track your expenses using Microsoft Excel, go to your bank account, print out your bank statement, and then you enter those values into Excel. You're gonna see where you're spending your money, and you'll be surprised. Maybe you had a subscription from 3 years ago that you're not using anymore, but you're still paying for it. Or maybe have a charge on your card that you don't know about. There's so many different things you can see, by you looking at your monthly expenses and how you spend your money and stuff like that. It will help you to see what you can cut back on your budget to help you to save more money, and that money that you save, it can be invested. This one is for people who want to invest in the stock market, want to make a killing, from the stock market, right? But I'm gonna say this to you as a word of caution: don't buy or invest in the stock if you don't understand the intrinsic value of the stocks. If you don't have the time or the capacity to research individual stocks, you should stay away from them, Like, and when I say by research, what do I mean? You should like try to look at the company like price to earning ratio. You should like look at the stock price. You should look at like maybe the stock price over the last year or or over the last 5 years and stuff like that. You should also look at the company, like their profit, their cash flow and stuff like that. So if you don't have the time or the capacity to go through all the stress to like investigate all those things, I would really recommend you don't like go into like individual stocks, because like that you can like lose a lot of money. If you don't take all those things into consideration and then you just go and buy a stock, that means like you're not really investing, you're just gambling your money away hoping to make a profit. If you are new to investing like myself, I'll caution you to like avoid individual stocks, I'll caution you also like to go more towards like index funds, like that is to say like the S&P 500, or the total stock market index funds. I know those things sound boring, like they wouldn't give you like a lot of return, like you investing like in like, take for example like Tesla, like maybe from 2019, but those things like it's like it will give you money like a safe haven. Nothing is guaranteed also, but it will give you money like some kind of a safe haven while you like figure out the stock market, how you figure out how things really work before you like start to like throw your hands into individual stocks, So it's a good way to like get started, like go for index funds. You're not gonna have crazy returns, but at least you're gonna have time to like properly learn about the stock market, and then like before you can like start going into individual stocks. Another point that I want to touch on when it comes to investing is like you should be fearful when the market is going up. That's really so important. Warren Buffett famously said, you should be fearful when everybody else is greedy, and you should be greedy when everybody else is fearful. So to avoid so many stress that the stock market come with, the best strategy for most young people is like for you to like buy and hold index funds. I know it doesn't sound glamorous, I know it sounds boring, but it is the best strategy for most people, right? Buy and hold index funds. So like by you doing that on a consistent basis, like if the market go up today, it doesn't really matter for you, If the market go down today, it doesn't really matter for you. Once you are doing it on a consistent basis, like over the period of like 20, 30 years, you're still going to come ahead than most people who like trying to like time the market and do things like they know better than like other people, like, so just try to like buy on a consistent basis. It might work out for you in the long term, The most reason why most people was buying and investing in stocks like in 2019, 2020 is like because of this thing called FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. Most people like they have this thing like, oh, you know what, everybody's buying stock, so I shouldn't be on the sideline. I should like go and invest myself, Why are you investing in that stock, What is your goal? What is your risk tolerance, What is your long-term goal? What is your short-term goal? You should like take all those things into account before you just go and invest your money, because like for most people, they just invest because other people are investing, and then that way, even though it's like giving exposure to the market, which is good, but it's not the best way to go about it, You can do it like way better than that. Also, it is really important that you adjust your investment strategy based on your goals, If you have like, for example, you like saving money to buy like your apartment, you need to save money for like 1-2 years for your down payment for your apartment or house, then you should like invest accordingly, But if you're like trying to like invest for your retirement also, you should invest accordingly. And also like don't fall for day trading scams, or forex trading scams, You should be really careful, you shouldn't fall into the trap. Day trading is not considered investing by many experts. Less than 2% of day traders make profit in the financial year, So if you don't have the proper skills when it comes to day trading, you don't really know about the market, you don't have really good trading strategies, You don't know about swing trading, you don't know about day trading, so don't start those things, just avoid it, I know it's like really tempting because, if you go on TikTok, if you go on Facebook, if you go on like YouTube even, like they have a lot of fake gurus like, oh, I'm making like $25,000 in a day, I'm making like $50,000 in a day. That's so crazy, that's like really crazy return to earn in a day. So you should avoid day trading if you don't have the skills. And if you're a day trader, good to you. If you're making money, good for you, But for most people, you should avoid day trading because like you might lose money. Like only 2% of people who day trade make money, So that's a really crazy low amount. Next, like another mistake that you should avoid in your 20s, like don't invest in anything you don't understand, Be a stock, be a crypto, be a NFT, even wine, like some people, they will like go and invest in wine and make a killing because what they know about the wine industry, they know like what the best wine comes from, they know the season when it comes to wine and stuff like that. They might make like really a lot of money, but you seeing somebody doing that, and then like that person is an expert in that field, they know much about that field, and you don't have the required knowledge. It's like because Mr. John is making like so much money investing in wine, I'm gonna do it myself. That could be like really catastrophic, I'm gonna give you another example on this because it's like really so important, right? Even though you like statistically you might make more money investing in the stock market than real estate, but if you understand real estate more than the stock market, you should invest in real estate, because that's what you know best, That's where you are expert in the field, So like you should always invest in things, if you want to invest in something you don't know or understand, like you should take your time and research and like find as much information as you can get about that and understand like that field as much as possible, you know. Another mistake that most people make in their 20s is like not avoiding sales or discount or avoiding high interest loan. Okay, I don't have no data on this, but like I'm gonna tell you, like most sales are fake, you know. Like most companies, like when they have a sale, you know what they normally do is like take for example, it's like Black Friday is coming, right? They will increase their product by like maybe 30%, you know. When the Black Friday comes, and then they will like say, you know what, we have 30% discount on this, you know. So in that situation, like you're not really like saving money, you know, because like this, they put like a really high markup on the product, and after when the sales period came, they just reduced like the price back to the normal level, you know. So in a way, like you're not really saving money, you know. Let's say for example, this plant costs like $100 US, right? I know it's really expensive plant. You come to my store, tell you like, okay, you know, this plant now is on 25% discount, you know. So now this plant costs like $75 instead of $100, you know. You as a consumer, if you're buying this plant, you as a young person, if you're buying this plant, you should always think like, oh, this plant, even though it's like $25 less than what I would have paid for it, you're not saving $25, you are spending $75 technically, you know. So in a way, like you should always look at sales with that mindset. Like if it's like 25% discount, you're not saving like that $25 on the plant, but rather you're spending $75, you know. Most companies, like the way they like make people to like get a really high interest loan is like they will like tell you like, oh, this loan requires 0 down payment, or they will tell you like this loan doesn't require you to pay interest for like the first 2 or 3 months, for example. Or they will give you a lot of good incentive, you know, or they might tell you like this loan doesn't require a guarantee, or it doesn't require any securities. So like what they will do, they will make you to get this very high interest loan, and like normally this loan, the interest like between like 7% up to 22%, you know, like sometimes even more, you know. So like you shouldn't take like a high interest loan to like buy like a consumer product, you know, for example, you know. So if you really want something, it's a really good habit to learn in your 20s to like try to save money for it, you know. And like some people say, even if you cannot afford something like 5 times, then you can afford it, you know. So like if you really want something, if you cannot afford it like 5 times, maybe you shouldn't buy it. Maybe you should like maybe go for an alternative, or maybe you should wait a little bit in the future, you know. Like me right now, like I really want a Tesla Model 3, but guess what? I know even though I can like afford the payment, but it doesn't make sense because I know like I cannot afford right now to buy a Tesla like 5 times over, you know, if I want to buy a Tesla, you know. And also one of the most important things you can do in your 20s is like try to take more risk. That is just like right now you're 20 years old, or you're 22 years old, 23 years old, you know, you have the time to go and try things to fail, you know. If you want to like create a business, try to create a business, you know. Right now I'm creating YouTube, like nobody's watching these videos, but I'm doing it, you know, because what, I want to learn new skills. I want to learn videography. I'm interested in photography. I like personal finance. So guess what? I created a YouTube channel, you know, like even though nobody's watching me, but if this doesn't work in the future, at least I have learned this new skills, you know, at least I've tried, you know. So like in your 20s, you should like try a whole lot of new things. If it doesn't work, fine. If it works, fine, you know, because now you have the opportunities to like try things and make mistakes, you know. So like if you're in your 20s, like take a lot of risk, you know, try a whole lot of new things, you know. Maybe something mistake, you know. If you have a business idea you want to try, go for it, try it, you know, in your 20s, you know. If you like doing a job that you don't really like, quit that job, you know. Like go and get a new skills. Of course, go and get a new skills before you quit the job, you know. Get a new skills, like try to invest in yourself, you know. If you want to learn programming, for example, like maybe right now I'm learning programming by myself, you know, go and do that by yourself, you know. So like in your 20s, take a lot of risk, you know, do a lot of things, you know. If you want to go into a new career and that career require you to have further education, look into getting that education, you know. So thank you for watching this video. If you like content like this, let me know down below in the comment section, and remember to smash the like button, but be cautious not to break your phone screen, and remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.